Good day, RGV. Today on Valley por Vida, we have a lot going on, and the show starts right now. Hi there, and thanks again for joining us today. I'm your host, Danielle Banda. Now, here in the Valley, we have a lot of Valley pride, right? I mean, we love our community, and whenever there's a chance for us to step up, most of us do, which is great. Well, the team over at Hidalgo County Community Service Agency feels the same, and they're making efforts to help with their community so much. Now, we're talking extra funds for utilities, rent, mortgages, support services, education assistance, and even veterans assistance. And we dropped by to learn all about this positive impact.
The Idaho County Community Service Agency is an agency that's charged with assisting vulnerable families, those families who are struggling with issues such as paying their utility bills, paying their rent, paying their mortgage, those everyday kinds of issues that sometimes put people back a little bit. During normal times, the Idaho County Community Service Agency has a variety of programs that assist families with their utility bills, such as their light, their gas, and now we've got a program that assists with water. We also, during normal times, assist families who are struggling with rent and sometimes with their mortgage payments. However, during the pandemic, we found ourselves providing assistance with a wider variety of services. We were also able to assist families with food. In some cases, we're able to provide families with insurance premium payments, mortgage payments to a greater degree, rental payments to a much greater degree. So far, with one particular program, we've assisted families with up to we spent almost $8 million in assisting families during this last year alone. So our rental assistance program, for instance, we're able to offer families up to 8, 10, 12 months of rental assistance. Those are for families who have fallen behind on their rental payments, who qualify under our income guidelines. Our income guidelines are fairly liberal in terms of assisting the biggest number of families who are struggling with those payments. For instance, a family of 4 earning less than $47,100 would be able to qualify for that assistance. Not only are we able to assist them with payments that were in arrears, that they were behind on, we're able to assist them into the future in some cases, 3 months, and in some cases even 6 months into the future. We're able to provide that kind of assistance to give families really that breathing room that they need to recover from the pandemic and to get past the pandemic and reestablish some of the savings that may have been lost, some of the savings that they may have tapped into during these difficult times. Probably the most important aspect of what we do is we're able to provide that little bit of comfort for families to be able to rest easy, to be able to, it's one less stressor on the family. We recognize that during the pandemic, the number of domestic abuse cases, unreported domestic abuse cases, went up significantly. Many families were reluctant to get into the throes of full-out domestic abuse case. So many families, as we say in Spanish, se aguantaron, because there was difficulty in the household. And then you add the stress of not being able to pay the rent, not being able to pay their light bill, not being able to pay their water bill. It just added, it was almost like a pressure cooker for many of the families. So what we find that the important thing that we do is we're able to relieve some of that stress. We're able to pick up those utility bills, reestablish folks. In some cases, we had families living without water service.
Their team will continue to improve the quality of life for all in Hidalgo, and they'll keep promoting self-sufficiency of the low-income and vulnerable households. Again, it's all about effective, efficient, and comprehensive services built through partnerships. So if you didn't know that this is going on in Hidalgo, then maybe now you do. But I'm sure that there's still a lot of other things that we can learn about Hidalgo, right? Let's go ahead and find out. So according to kids.kittle.co, Hidalgo County had about 774,769 people living in the area back in 2010. But of course, that number has surely increased since then. But did you know that the site outlines Hidalgo County as the 8th most populous county in the entire state of Texas? Who knew? And if you ever wondered where the name Hidalgo came from, well, the site has an answer for that too. Apparently, the county was named after Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla, who was a priest who aided in bringing attention to Mexico's strive for independence from Spain, which is pretty interesting. Now, the site also says that Hidalgo County is designated by the U.S. Census Bureau as the McAllen-Edinburgh Mission Metropolitan Statistical Area. Now, it outlines that the RGV of South Texas is a good home for Hidalgo, and that the valley is one of the fastest growing counties in counties and areas rather in the United States, which is pretty cool. Now, lastly, the site says that Hidalgo County actually led different Texas counties in the production of vegetables that we all know and love today. We're talking cabbage, onions, cantaloupes, carrots, and even watermelon. Naturally, the primary fruits and nuts that were grown, according to the site, were those of which we still see a lot of today in our area, like a whole lot of grapefruit, oranges, and even pecans. Of course, cattle and hogs are still known as Hidalgo's primary livestock, and the site even says that their natural resources can include sand, gravel, oil, and gas. So it's a great county. And just as Hidalgo is so proud of all that their county has endured throughout history, so is pretty much every county in the valley. Actually, every state in the country. Again, we all hold that pride for where we came from, and that can just often be a huge burst of creativity for residents. Take those who live in Indiana, for example. Their state is very proud of recent film industry action, and it's really interesting, so we thought we'd give you an inside peek at what this means.
Camera speeding. All right, John, you can call it.
After more than a decade of battles, fails, and lost hopes,
ready and action.
Films in Indiana will finally see their story arc change.
Take 3.
It's a big day to finally be here to celebrate.
To put it mildly,
patience and relentlessness pays off.
Legendary Indiana filmmaker Angelo Pizzo has been fighting for movie tax credits in Indiana since 2006.
We actually got something through, but it wasn't really competitive.
With neighboring states offering 30% tax incentives, the iconic screenwriter has an admission.
We would not have shot Hoosiers or Rudy in Indiana under the existing conditions.
Even Self-Made, the Madam Walker show on Netflix.
It was all Indianapolis-centric, and yet it was shot in Toronto.
Previous attempts to bring significant tax credits failed, time and time again.
If we had this bill out on the floor, everybody has an opinion, and they would want to put their either pet project or pet idea into it.
This year, that changed. Representative Bob Morris spearheading an effort to run the credits through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
So there's going to be an application process that they will submit.
The IEDC is still working out the specifics. The law goes into effect July 1st.
Tax credit programs build in the conditions to kind of force the companies asking for the credit to make local hires.
Of the roughly 200 cast and crew on Hoosiers, less than 10 came from out of state. Many of Indiana's big schools have film degrees.
We're educating Hoosiers and they have to leave our state.
We've said for a long time that without this legislation, we wouldn't be able to really advance the film industry in Indiana.
John Armstrong's with Pegasus Pictures in Bloomington. At the end of the month, Pegasus will premiere the thriller mystery So Cold the River, shot at the West Baden Hotel in French Lick.
It's going to help us be able to finance our projects, hopefully, in a more efficient way.
Bringing Hollywood to Hoosierwood.
I think it's safe to say that Indiana's doing pretty good in the film scene, but what else are they known for? Let's go ahead and find out. All right, so here are a few things about the state of Indiana according to the website on your screen, and it's up to you to decide which one is not true. Is it A, that the state ranks 17 in the nation when it comes to population? Is it the second option, that the state bird is the lovely cardinal, kind of like one of our high schools here locally? Is it C, that the state insect is a firefly? Or the next one, that the state fossil is the mastodon? The last one rather, is it not true that their state flower is the lily? See, I don't know, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, give you a sec to figure it out. And we'll also take a look at your local weather updates during that break. But stay tuned because Valley Puerto Vida is going to be right back. We'll also have an all-new What's Trending topic about interesting cooking competition that's got many people excited. Plus, fun facts about the art of cooking, so if you're a pro in the kitchen, you're not going to want to miss it. We've got all that and more when we return